It's going down. Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachakwadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And double honors to our apostles and elders, the great millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. And welcome to another series of It's Going Down, being brought to you by the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. U.S. gasoline prices hit all-time high. And for a very long time now, and I have been speaking concerning this matter because they like to blame Russia and the Ukraine situation for rising gas prices. But Russia and Ukraine rising gas prices is no more than a smokescreen. Really behind the scenes, there is somebody pulling the strings and manipulating the numbers to systematically cause these gas prices to rise. Now, while the United States openly admitted that they do not receive more than 3% oil or gas exports from Russia, that should raise questions as to how gas prices are rising here in the United States, especially when the United States gets their gas from countries like Mesoamerica, South America, Mexico, Venezuela. These are questions that should be asked. But nobody wants to ask these questions because Russia and Ukraine is the reason for rising gas prices have been beaten into the general public's head. And they're pushing this false narrative that Russia is to blame for everything, when in reality, it's not really Russia. It's the so-called elites. Okay? Who are known as Edom in the Holy Scriptures, the so-called elites, trickling down to the rest of their nation, the people. They are the so-called elites through the Illuminati, and the governments around the world are responsible for rising gas prices. The national average jumps to above $5 a gallon as summer demand grows. And as you can see right there, you see a vehicle driving down the road. And what do you see right here? You see people tossing their money out of the vehicle. And why? Why is that? Well, actually, not money being tossed out of the vehicle, but money being used to power these vehicles. Because you need money to put gas in your vehicle. Okay, it's over $1,000 for truckers to put gas inside of their vehicle. The U.S. government prices set all-time high on Tuesday, with the national average price for regular unleaded gas rising to $5.16 per gallon. Data from the American Automobile Association, which tracks the prices at more than 60,000 gas stations across the country, shows. Okay, and I believe I have a picture on my phone which shows gas being $4.99. Now, it's probably a couple of cents lower than that, or it could be a couple of more cents higher than that. But the last time I checked, it was $4.99 for a gallon of gas. The highest prices have traditionally been recorded in the state of California at up to $6.44 per gallon. Okay, and the reason why the so-called elites through the Illuminati and through the United States government is doing this is to put the squeeze on you people, because they want you people to bow down to their new world, to their NWO. And ultimately that's what it's all about at the end of the day. They want to force you people into their NWO, But now we know that the Lord's elect is not going to bow to the beast system or the NWO or the charagma. And if you don't know what the charagma is, just ask me what it is on the comment board, and I'll tell you. And the lowest in Georgia at $4.49 per gallon. According to the AAA, rising prices are not yet affecting demand associated with the traditionally busy summer driving season. Based on the demand we're seeing, it seems high prices have not really deterred drivers, said AAA spokesperson Andrew Gross. He added, however, that if prices remain at or above $5, we may see people start to change their daily driving habits or lifestyles. According to the U.S. Energy Information Administration (EIA), fuel demand grew 9.2 million barrels per day last week from 8.98 million barrels per day a week before. Total domestic gasoline stocks, meanwhile, have dropped by. So these stocks have dropped by 800,000 barrels to 218.2 million barrels last week. I mean, that's pretty much all I need to read there. You pretty much, get what's going on here. But again, this is the Lord, the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, working on the left hand side. Okay, this is the Heavenly Father Yahweh through his son Yahushai, working on the left hand side to bring judgment upon Babylon, which is known as to bring judgment upon America, which is known as Babylon in the Holy Scriptures. Zephaniah 3 verse 5. The just Lord is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning doth he bring his judgment to light. So every morning doth the Lord bring his judgment to light. And what are we seeing right here? We're seeing judgment being brought upon Babylon. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame. Okay, the unjust knoweth no shame. And the unjust is the wicked. Now let's go from there to the book of Isaiah, chapter 47, verse 1. Okay, it says, Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. And when was America called tender and delicate? From the mid 1800s going into the very early 1900s, where you could buy nearly a month's worth of groceries with a $5 bill, where stock markets were flourishing, when millions of people was investing into the stock market to become either wealthy or rich, when the dollar was at its peak, when the economy was flourishing so well that food prices were dirt cheap, merchandises were dirt cheap, oil and gas was a thing that, oil and gas was so affordable. I believe it was like 75 cents around those times, because I believe vehicles have been around especially since the very early 1900s or the very early 19th century. That's when America was called tender and delicate. When the dollar was actually backed by something like gold or silver. Well, if you look at the dollar today, it's no longer a so-called greenback. Now, is it? The dollar is not backed by anything. It is only backed by paper backing, which makes the dollar naturally worthless as it is. So America is no longer tender and delicate. You know, this place is steadily falling apart and quickly, and it's all being systematically done from the inside. It has nothing to do with Russia or Ukraine. The so-called elites, through the Illuminati and by the US government, is responsible for all these systematic gasoline prices rising. With that, I'm going to say shalom. It's on to the next one.